Today I had all these amazing conversations about momentum being the result of taking action, about making choices, about not being limited to the choices presented, to not choosing because of fear, to exploring what's your message, what's your story. I guess that pretty much sums it up. So why momentum? Well, Evan Carmichael is doing the momentum challenge. So he has us actually record videos about momentum and also collaborate with other people. And quite honestly, I love that. And especially I love it when I can do a combination of sort of interviewing and coaching, because basically coaching is nothing other than listening really well, asking the right questions, then mix it all together and come up with something they can recognize themselves in. That's if done well. Well, that's at least my vision of coaching. And it's nice to get really deep and figure out what it is that people are about. And well, in order of appearance, I believe, I was supposed to talk to Coach Marima, but we had a problem connecting to one another. So then Zen stepped in, which was cool. So thank you, Zen, for doing so. Then Tessa Marie was there out of the blue. And later on, I heard that she actually was taking a break. There we were talking. And she told me about all those beautiful places there are in Canada. And also how she loves to travel. And what she actually got to see in Europe when she was there. Then I took a break for a little while. No, I didn't. Then the Insider Readers group from Evan Carmichael was on with Zen presenting today. And after that, I took a break. I decided, when it comes to momentum, to see if I would be able to walk to the nearby restaurant without my crutches. And yeah, I did manage to do it. So going uphill was a little bit of a battle, and going downhill was easier. So I really had, going uphill, I really had to use those muscles and really train them. And then going downhill, it was like, oh my God, I have muscles. For those who have experienced muscle aches and fatigue, you know what I'm talking about. By the way, both is good, because the reason why I did so is to learn to regain my stability again by walking without my crutches. I have to say though that I need to be really conscious of what I'm doing and how I'm walking. And I cannot just turn. So if someone would come from behind me and call my name, that would probably be a problem. But I loved it. I had a latte over there, and I posted actually something on my Instagram channel, in my stories, because it was so nice to be back in the Netherlands and being able to enjoy a fancy latte. And fancy being, in this case, with amaretto flavor, because I don't drink. Yeah, and I did do something very wrong. I also had a brownie which made me stuffed with ice cream. Oh, it tasted good, but I didn't like the sticky cutlery. They had this spoon. Well, on one side it was a spoon, and on the other side it was a fork, and they dropped it in the dessert, which looked really fancy, but Oh my God, I hate it. And I've got sticky fingers and sticky hands. Well, fortunately for me, and it doesn't sound as dramatic as I say it right now, there was sanitizer there, of course. Yeah, you know, with COVID-19. So I got to wash my hands. I forgot that before I had sent them in, I actually talked to, oh my God, I need to find his name again. I keep looking up his name. His name is, let's see, Mohammed Zakaria or Zakaria Muhammad. I don't know. You tell me what the right order is. Anyway, I couldn't stay for too long, so being stuffed and all, I walked back pretty rapidly, I have to admit. As long as I don't take huge steps, it can go the way it is. And I got to talk to Tessa Marie again, which was again amazing. And we talked about plans and actually planning and sticking to it so you get the momentum. And I shared my story about when my mom died and my struggle with maintaining momentum and keeping momentum. Well, to continue on, I'm not as structured, nearly as structured as Tessa Marie is. And I do understand what she says. She says when you have a time planned, then all the elements come together, also including the universe, and they're there to support you. And then when you don't show up, it's like, okay, never mind. I think I don't know if it's the right word if I say I'm a little bit more flexible. I sure am more chaotic, but I like to perceive it as a bit more flexible, as long as it's within limits and it doesn't take me extra time and keeps me from achieving certain things. Well, I have to admit that I had wanted to create something which I would have finished before 5, but getting up late, which was a result of hanging out with Zen late last night and then editing a video because Mary had told me that there was echo in it, and it actually took me a lot longer than I had expected. And of course, let's be realistic. I can't blame this on anyone else but me, myself and I, which I do. Oh, I don't blame it. I mean, I don't have a really huge issue with it. I just want to finish that that one piece I had started to write until the moment that one of my clients called, and knowing that if I don't talk to him, it will be another week before I get to talk to him, I was like, okay, I'll let myself be interrupted and talk to him. So yeah, it's like 1 o'clock right now at night. So after Tess Marie and going to the second time, I got to do a live with Jessica. I'm just a girl. It's kind of cool. She's got ancestors from the Netherlands. And likewise, my ancestors are actually in Canada. They traveled there, so it's a very familiar story, and we got to discuss some things when we were on the Insiders Readers group, and apparently it was noticed that I was helping out some people who had questions, and she was talking about her 3 words. And the cool thing is that we both have been to Brandon Burchard, probably both in 2018. I was there 2018. She got this sticker from Cherie. And Cherie, you know, I love you, I adore you. She is this great woman, and she has a certain way, a certain style, and it completely resonates with her. When it comes to authenticity, you have to see Cherie. And besides that, she is the most wonderful, sweet lady there is. Anyway, I have the Bring the Joy shirt. And while I was showing it, she had the Bring the Joy sticker, which she got from Cherie. So that was kind of cool. So why did I mention Brandon Burchard? Not just for the Bring the Joy shirt and sticker, but also because Brandon back then, during High Performance Academy, was talking about the 3 words. So my 3 words were intention, courage, and confidence. Why? Because if you set your intention, then you will create enough opportunity and momentum in order to find the courage to go do it. So you choose by setting the intention to go do it. And that if you do things often enough, that will lead to confidence. So when we're talking about momentum, setting the intention, seeing how you can create optimal circumstances leads to courage, building the courage, and being in the flow leads to confidence. And I can attest to that. I mean, I remember back in the days, 2012, hear me, back in the days, I was doing those videos for the first time. It might actually be 2011. Ilko de Boer must know it. And he had us do it, and I totally didn't feel comfortable with it. But you know, nowadays we have the camera, we have our phones, and I'm not necessarily looking at the screen, but I know I can see myself on the screen if needed. And that's such a big difference compared to having your camera. I believe I used one of these, and maybe I used its predecessor of this one. Likely I did. So you had to put this one on a tripod. Then you could look at the back of the side if it was all going the way it should, and then you couldn't see anymore because you had to stare in this thing. So no clue if it was any good or not. But having done so, I really started doing it 2018 because of momentum. I was on tour with my friends from the US, and we had talked a year before about recording video and audio. So that was cool, and that's how I started doing it. And now I don't have any problem with going live anymore. So whereas a few months ago I was still like, IG live, how does that work? You know, I'm totally fine with it. Well, that was my day so far. I know Sandman will go live in a little under an hour. I'm part of the panel most of the days. And so I'm planning on doing that today as well. But I just needed to share my thoughts because, you know, there were such deep conversations varying from the tribes in Africa to taking care of my mom to planning to being a powerhouse lady. And I'm not referring to me this time. To traveling and everything in between, and you know, and support one another. And I just love it. So that's what I wanted to say today. I love this life, and I'm grateful for having the opportunity to tell this.